As they say, ladies and gentlemen, history is a mystery, and that is why I've driven all the way to Odiham, to King John's Castle. Let's do this. So here we are in beautiful rural Odiham, a little hamlet near the town of Basingstoke, and I'm here to check out some historical shit. That's right, King John's Castle. Now, I read Wikipedia before I came on this endeavour, and I cannot remember a single fact. Something to do with the Magna Carta, and some king got imprisoned. It's a really, really beautiful part of the country. The canal water is crystal clear. You could definitely swim in it and not have to worry about getting like Weil's disease or anything. Well, do not take my word for that. I know absolutely nothing about whether you will get Weil's disease or not, so do not take that as time to go surfing USA down the Basingstoke Canal. But the water is clear, so do what you will with that. There's also a little town called Greywell where there's a tunnel which has got a huge bat colony. I said bat then in like a really excited way. Bat colony, which is worth, I was about to say it's worth going to see. Don't do that because it's probably a protected thing. So yeah, don't go and visit the bats, but just be content that you know that they're there having a great time. It's muddy as balls. That proper squelchy mud. So we made it to King John's Castle, and it's bringing back so many memories from when I was a little kid. The first time I came here I was probably about 6 or 7 with my dad, and I remember walking down the canal and being absolutely kind of encaptivated, imaginarily stimulated by just seeing all this crazy old castle-y stuff. And back then as a kid, being into like The Hobbit and that, whenever you see stuff like that, it just makes you feel kind of that you're in a different place. But they've kind of done some modern renovations using clay or some kind of mortar that isn't really in keeping with the original mortar used. I am no expert, by the way, in any of this, so there's an information board. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go read the information board, and that will probably be a lot better than what I'm saying. So here it goes. King John. Both we and the barons have sworn that all this shall be observed in good faith and without deceit. Magna Carta. King Richard the Lionheart was killed in France in 1199. The English throne passed to his youngest brother, John. Between 1207 and 1214, King John had a castle built here. Built as a stronghold, but used primarily as a hunting lodge, it was defended by a series of deep moats. Careful inspection of the walls on the outside reveals the impressions of the stone that clad the entire castle, and a small square putlog holes that held the wooden scaffold during the building works. John's reign was a turbulent affair. Disagreements with the church, the French and the English barons created much hostility and uncertainty. In 1215, the English barons persuaded King Philip of France, with the promise of the English throne to his son Louis, to pressure John into creating fairer land and taxation laws. Under duress, King John rode here to Runnymede and put his seal to the Magna Carta. I'm guessing that was like a ring or something with some wax on. It was like, ka-tsh. But the barons saw little change of heart from John and called in Louis and his French army to invade England. The French lay siege to Odiham Castle. Here, take that, you English pig. Louis launched an attack on Odiham in 1216. A siege took place here lasting 2 weeks. When the defenders were allowed to surrender with honour, the French were amazed to find only 13 English soldiers present. Wow, that must have been a fair old scrap. Mate, 300. 13 in Odiham. On King John's death in 1216, his son, Henry III, became King of England and owner of Odiham Castle. Well, there you go. That is a fair old tale, isn't it? Not much left of it now. Imagine what it's like living in a big old castle. Just you and your family and some soldiers and that. All that room. What are you going to do with it all? Like, it's hard enough like when you get a spare bedroom and you don't know what to do with it. Imagine living in a big old castle, big old stone rooms. It must have been freezing. I don't know if I doubt they had central heating. Probably just like fires and stuff. Suckling pig on the go. To eat, obviously. I don't know, it must have been lonely. That's all I can think of. Sort of, you're upstairs as a kid. Scary enough when you're like on your own upstairs. But you're like 5 floors up in some stone room. Gonna be ghosts around here somewhere, knocking about. The ruins you see before you were a major part of English rule during the Plantagenet dynasty. The Plantagenet dynasty. In the 13th and 14th centuries, Odiham Castle gave shelter to kings and queens, suffered sieges, and also provided a unique record of medieval life. Its octagonal keep buttressed at each corner, and in its prime was faced with dressed stone, roofed with lead, and richly decorated inside. A circular moat and high banks protected the castle, in addition to the rectangular moats surrounding the inner and outer bailey. Excavations in the 1980s and historical records indicate there are a large number of other buildings attached to the castle, gatehouses and bridges across the moats, and formal gardens. By the mid-15th century, Odiham was probably left to go to ruin. The dressed stone was taken, leaving the flint core you see today. Internal spiral stairs caused a plane of weakness and some of the walls collapsed. In 1792, the Basingstoke Canal was cut through the outer bailey. In 2008, Odiham Castle was strengthened against further collapse and access improved. The canal wharf was constructed and the waterside enhanced for wildlife. Much more information for visitors and schools can be found at this link, www.hants.gov.uk/Odiham Castle. Respect this site. Scrambling on the walls or lighting fires damages this protected and valuable monument, so no babs, no scrambling. Who's leaving something like this to ruin? Like, surely if the family kind of buggered off that lived here, surely someone else is going to be like, oh yeah, you know that castle over there? Should we just like move in? Yeah, go on then. Squatters' rights. It's not like leaving a caravan or something in your driveway and then it goes all green and just falls to bits. Like, it's a goddamn castle. I love the way though that people pillaged all of the good bits off it to probably just go and build their houses somewhere. Like, you've basically just wrecked a castle to go and build some shoddy little lean-to somewhere. Surely everyone in the village could have all just clubbed together and thought, actually, do you know what, we'll all just go and live in the castle, and then you can just take it in turns who's king for the week. Job done. Selfish. That is the human condition right there. Selfishness. Absolute selfishness. Never changes. This reminds me of the fact that nothing ever changes, really. Well, I'll tell you what, props to Hampshire County Council for, you know, preserving this place and keeping it going. There's a little plaque that says Magna Carta 800. My God, I really need to learn to speak English. Magna Carta 800. So yeah, I recommend coming and visit this place. It's super cool. I mean, like, you can walk around it in about 5 minutes, but bring your camera down, get some good shots. Like, make use of this stuff. It's proper good. It's history, man. It's like a little slice of what used to be in the past, but not quite as good. So yeah, get involved, people. Absolutely get involved. Like, I know Netflix is good and everything, but like, take some time to just go and see this stuff. Absolutely love going out with my missus and visiting castles and things. It's good, man. It's good for the soul. 100% good for the soul. Anyway, I think we've seen enough for today. We've had our Hardrockin History lesson, part 1, King John's Castle. Oh yeah. Hope you've enjoyed it, people. Do me a massive favour. Click that like button. Share it on your Facebook if you've enjoyed it. And have a great, historically accurate day. Peace. So no babs, no scrambling.